This is the Cape Cod Baseball League.
It's the Gatemen and the Whitecaps from Stony Brook Field. For the final time this season, we say hello from Brewster. Welcome on into the Gatemen Baseball Network pregame show alongside Jack Hunter. I'm Aiden Blank. Things not going so well the last 2 days for Wareham. This has become a must-win game along with tomorrow with Falmouth.
Yeah, and it's a good place to have a must-win game. Obviously, the road has given the Gatemen some struggles this year, but there's not really been that many teams that the Gatemen have played as well against as they have against Brewster this year. They've routed them twice at home. They had one of two ties on the road here a few weeks ago, a 4-4 ball game that was very well played from Wareham's perspective. So you got to turn things around, and here in Brewster, not a bad place to try to do that.
Only one team has not beaten the Gatemen this season. It is the Brewster Whitecaps. Ryan Smyth, obviously, a little extra motivation to win this thing. He said if he can go back 3-0-1, he'll like it, and he turns to Brett Wozniak. Was supposed to start yesterday. Things get shifted around, and Brett gets the start for the final game against Brewster.
Yeah, well, Brett is pitching for the third time today. It's going to be officially his fourth time if you count what happened in Chatham, where he was supposed to pitch but didn't pitch because of the fog out. Brett pitched very nicely last time versus Falmouth. 3 innings out of relief, 2 earned runs. He kept the team in the game, and look for him to do that again today. He's not a guy that's going to walk or strike out a lot of guys. He's going to induce some contact, and he's got to be confident and just put the ball in the zone and let his defense work.
Let's keep things rolling on the Gatemen Baseball Network on our leadoff spot. Here's Amanda.
Here on the Manager Show with Ryan Smyth today.
This is manager Ryan Smyth of Wareham Gatemen. I am joined here by Amanda Foster, our sideline reporter. Special guest for today, and we had a couple questions that we needed to ask her. Amanda, first off, what does Wareham need to do to get a win on the road for the first time since game 1 of the season?
Well, your daughter wrote it in the dugout. Try not to suck today. A big thing to keep in mind, you said last night that the team needs to play for some pride. I think a lot of it's just a big mentality thing that the guys just have to go in. They know that they haven't won a road game in a while. It's just something, a little hump that they got to get over.
Absolutely, I agree. And Brett Wozniak on the mound tonight, what do you see in him from his outings prior? What do you think is going to give him the ability tonight to get us over the hump on the road?
Well, the good thing is that starting pitching as a whole has kind of been doing really well in the last few games, so I think he can capitalize on that because he's seen his teammates succeed. He hasn't pitched in a little while, so he's got some rest under his belt. He's seen his guys. He's talked with the teammates. It's going to be a challenge for him, but I think he's a very well-rounded pitcher. If he hits the zone, Yadi Hernandez behind the plate catches him well. It's going to be a good game for him.
The pace of play from our starters has been fantastic. We haven't walked a whole lot of people. Do you think that has to do anything with Coach Smyth maybe calling the game recently?
Absolutely.
Aiden, Jack, back to you.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. Taking a look at some standings. Jack, not a ton of changes because there were only 3 games yesterday in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Still pretty much similar stuff out of the West. Wareham, though, drops to 8 points out now with the Falmouth win yesterday and the Wareham loss. It's going to be a long road to catch that last playoff spot.
Yeah, and Falmouth's playing well right now, too, and Bourne has started to slip a little bit, so the third-place spot is getting a little close. And in the East as well, Brewster's won 3 out of the last 4. So they were kind of thought maybe they'd be just kind of settled into that 4th spot with Chatham very far behind in the 5th spot, but they're creeping up on Harwich and the 3rd spot in Orleans still in 2nd place.